You are responsible for your life. That although there may be tragedy in your life, there's always a possibility to triumph. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. And that the ability to triumph begins with you. Always.
The one that leaves inside has a message, an essence spark which is immortal, and a soul that is truth-centered, and most of all, a destiny to fulfill in the progression of human evolution. When one becomes attuned to this inner self that is infinite, life becomes imbued with the never-ending spirit of discovery and a sense of wonder. The gift you have to offer the world has always been intact, but involves the journey of self-discovery and a higher attunement for true purpose to make itself known. Oprah has her South Node in Cancer. So before I did my little research, I only had like a vague idea of who Oprah was. Obviously, I knew she's known for being like the wealthiest self-made woman. I known her through her talk shows, but I never really watched documentaries of her life. And while I was doing my little research, I was just like mind blown by her sheer wisdom and immense self-awareness. There was something magical about watching her self-reflect. There were so many obvious gifts that her South Node in Cancer had given her. One of the major ones being her ability to like sympathize and lend a listening ear to her guests. Cancer's ruler is the moon, and the moon is our soul, our inner self. So when she was stressing the connection to her inner self, light bulbs were just going off for someone like me, who's quite familiar with the zodiac archetypes. The Cancerian influence became like quite apparent through her interviews as well as when she was reflecting on her success and even her life before that. That was just the Oprah Winfrey magical touch to her career. She was very relatable and made people feel at ease. But she also made sure her work was a worthy cause. She didn't just do it for financial gain. So when it comes to her node in Capricorn, she embarked on the path to success and prestige almost unintentionally, I want to say. She said that the financial aspect was never the focal point for her. She genuinely enjoyed hosting the talk shows because of the sense of fulfillment. She used her Cancer South Node's gift of empathetic listening and intuition to carve the pathway to fulfilling her destiny. Oprah used her instinctual attunement to her inner self as her foundations for her career. She used her infamous Cancer vulnerability as a tool to not only relate to people but made her show a place where people can feel seen and heard. In every one of the interviews, her story remained the same. She intended her platform to be a place where it inspired people, whether it was, her live audience or people watching it on the couch at home. What also made it fulfilling for her was when it proved to be life-changing for another. She used the motherly Cancerian archetype not only to create very intimate talk shows, but also to be relatable to people. People trusted her not to exploit them. And then because the Capricorn node is the fatherly archetype, when the mother, sympathizes and understands and makes us feel seen and heard, the fatherly archetype lends a helping hand, and she was able to build leadership academy for young girls as well as different charities and organizations which held true to Capricorn, nature of organizing and structuring life. Personally, I believe Oprah wouldn't have built those schools and funded those charities if she didn't have that innate ability to sympathize with people and to truly want to uplift humanity. She like balanced her Cancer South Node with the North Node in Capricorn because instead of just giving money away to those in need, she built them tools like, the schools so they would be able to find their own footing and be able to discover their inner calling. She said in like numerous interviews that she was able to get to where she is now because of the education she had, as an adolescent, which is why she wanted to give that back. So, like, as I'm writing this, I thought back to the global success of Avatar and I realized the common denominator. Even though these are different mediums, they had similar purposes. One of them being exploring universal themes on love, validation, and acceptance. celebrating our differences while relishing in our commonalities. I think this is in part why Avatar and Oprah's talk shows were able to surmount to greater levels of success because they utilize these universal themes behind human existence. When a cause is universally inclusive and it resonates on a wider scale, its success is inevitable.